You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings by $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
At Edward Jones, we believe rich is about taking care of what gives your life meaning. That's why your financial advisor personalizes your plan to help you preserve your progress and create something that lasts. Let's find your rich. Edward Jones. Member SIPC.
With Cricket Wireless, you can count on reliable nationwide 5G because Cricket Wireless is on the AT&T network, which means you can start listening to that new album that just dropped at home, while running errands, and at the gym without any hiccups. Find plans with unlimited data for every lifestyle and price point. Switch to Cricket today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Season 3 San Diego Comic-Con episode. Today, you will hear all of the interviews that we conducted while at San Diego Comic-Con, as well as Emily and I theorizing on everything that we saw this weekend. The panel, the clip from Season 3, the activations. So stay tuned for that. But before that, a spoiler warning. We will be spoiling the Titan's Curse in this episode pretty thoroughly. So if you haven't read the Titan's Curse, I'd recommend reading it before listening to this episode and before watching this season. It's a very good book. All right. Anyway, let's get into it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Monster Donut, a literary and historical deep dive into the Percy Jackson series and all of its following spin-offs. I'm Emily, a classic scholar-ish. I almost said dramaturg.
And I'm Phoebe, a classic scholar-ish. And welcome to our San Diego Comic-Con interview recap episode.
Welcome. We're back. I didn't accidentally oversleep my alarm by an hour and a half this morning.
Yeah, we got back yesterday on a red eye. So we're very rested and very prepared to discuss our experience at San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend, where we were covering all of the Season 3 promo for Percy Jackson.
Yes.
If you haven't listened to one of our Comic-Con episodes in the past, the way that this will work is that we'll do like a brief conversation about some of the stuff that we learned at the panel. And then we will jump into all of the interviews that we did with the cast and showrunners of Percy Jackson. And we'll also talk a bit about our experience in the activation, which was the sort of walkthrough experience that you might have seen people posting about this weekend.
Yes. And there were Easter eggs.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about the activation while talking about an answer that Charlie gave.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to go in order there. I think we're just going to start talking about it at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This will basically be all of the interviews that we did, all of the information that we gathered, and us
analyzing,
theorizing, analyzing, trying to figure out what we're looking at this season ahead of D23, where we're going to receive way more information, I'm sure.
Also, a huge thank you to Disney for making this possible for us, and also to all of you for also making this possible for us. Okay, the panel.
Yeah, the panel kicked off Comic-Con like it did last year in Hall H. It's still crazy that we, are in Hall H.
I know.
That's huge.
And they have a huge space for their activation, right in front of the con, like last year.
Yeah, it's the very first thing that you see when you walk up. I heard so many people. There was one guy on our last day there that was walking up and was like, "What's up, Percy Jackson?"
Yeah.
It must have been interesting to walk past for people this year because it's like, what's this billboard that just keeps playing this kid screaming over and over?
But hey, everyone looked pretty cool on the billboard.
They did. So we'll run through just a couple highlights from the panel. You can actually watch the full panel. A lot of people filmed it. It's sort of all over YouTube.
Yeah, us included, by the way. We posted clips on
Yeah,
Twitter.
we posted a couple clips on Twitter that you can sort of follow along with our conversation with, I guess. But one of the things that you can't watch online right now was one of the first things that they showed us, the first 3 minutes-ish of season 3.
I don't know how much we're actually allowed to talk about it.
We've seen recaps. I'll put a link to like a recap that someone has posted of the very beginning of season 3. But yeah, as you've probably heard, both from our interviews and from other sources, it features Thalia on the hunt for Luke on her own, not in camp garb or anything. Which I'm glad that they kept, that she stays in her punk attire. Although it's not all that. It's not like punk the way that she dresses in the flashbacks. I feel like it's more like I was saying to Emily that it's like it's more oversized now. Like her style has actually shifted a bit. You can see it in the outfit that she's wearing in the posters and stuff that have come out.
Yeah, something else we were talking about a little bit that we haven't talked about yet, I'm pretty sure, was the fact that in the promotional images at the activation, she was wearing pinstripe pants.
Yeah. Yeah, I have so many thoughts on the costumes. As soon as we started seeing images of them in their, like, season 3 looks, before we even landed in San Diego, I was like, I have so many things to say about this. I love that Percy and Thalia are wearing, like, basically the same outfit in different textures and colors.
Yeah, the flannel. Thalia's, like, yellow
flannel.
Right,
like t-shirt, flannel, jacket.
Is there something about Thalia in a black jacket, yellow flannel, coffin-esque, maybe, trying to be closer to
She's
Luke?
wearing the coffin
Is there
colors?
analysis?
That's interesting.
Ever since before the season 2 premiere last year, Phoebe and I were shopping around because her sister needed a dress, and every time we found a black and gold dress, we'd be like, it's giving coffin.
Which is like, I'm like already thinking like, okay, season 4, I need to be giving coffin.
But yeah, it's giving coffin.
I suppose it is giving coffin. I was thinking like it's interesting that she wears like a touch of yellow, because you know no one would ever think like, oh yeah, Thalia in yellow. So I'm sure I'll develop thoughts on that at some point. All we really have for that right now is like that's sort of the Athena color, but I don't think that's really connected.
Yeah, Annabeth in a jean jacket.
Yeah, she's wearing her brighter colors again.
Yeah.
The blue jacket, and then what was she wearing? Was it like a purple?
It's like a purple. It looked almost like a Henley
meeting happening on Mount Oath.
Yes, Luke's in a Henley, a dirty Henley. We all know he's been under the sky in that, I think.
Yeah. But in the poster art, he's not wearing that. He's wearing a brown shirt. He's wearing fewer layers than anyone else. A brown shirt, or is it? He's wearing a gray sweater and a brown jacket. I think is the combo.
So he's getting. The white is no longer, it seems. It's creeping.
Yeah, because like we know that he has the like tans and browns in his color palette.
Yeah.
Because of like the jacket that he wore last season, but we've leaned even further into that, and like you could say that the white is fading to gray. The pristine white, we're losing it. But I also think I was talking to Zoe at one point when we ran into her in front of these billboards that we're literally talking about.
This is Zoë Nightshade, a producer on the show, by the way, not Zoë Nightshade.
Yeah. We ran into her, and I was telling her how much I loved that Luke is in these very like earthy, warm colors that like are much more grounded than what we're seeing on anyone else. Like especially the fact that it's a sweater. It's like this is your home. This is safety in a way that like no one else's costume is giving. Like Percy's even is like cold blue, cold dark blues.
Which is interesting considering he's at Mount Orthrus, presumably doing some very uncomfortable things, aka holding the sky.
Yeah, which he is doing wearing the dirty gray Henley.
Yeah,
it seems. So I think when we first see him, here's my prediction: when we first see him, dirty gray Henley. But once he is no longer under the sky, he shifts into this like persona, this sweater. I swear I'm a nice guy outfit.
Well, it's interesting as well because that was something Charlie mentioned in the panel. It sort of confirmed that Luke's been demoted this season. Probably because, like in the books, we're bringing in Atlas as the new general of Kronos' army. And he's trying to, like, work his way back up the ranks, essentially, is what Charlie said.
Yeah, so he can't have the flashy looks anymore.
Mm-mm. He also talked a lot about enjoying working with the actor who plays Atlas. And I'm so curious whatever's going on there. I think that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was something I think Dan brought up in the panel, too. So the first question was basically about the tone shift in Titan's Curse. And Dan said that they were trying to balance... He said specifically that both the tone and the villains, the bad guys, get darker in this season. So they tried to balance that with more of the humor in the show. But I was like, wow, Atlas must really suck at different points. So we've got a Dr. Thorne... who's obviously the comic relief, but then Atlas, I'm sure they're making very scary.
I mean, he's going to try and kill his own daughter.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But I think they pulled back even with, like, Ares in book 2.
Yeah.
And I don't think... It sounds like they're probably not pulling back.
Mm.
They also officially confirmed they've expanded the Annabeth storyline, which I think we all suspected, but it's nice to hear. So yeah, it seems like we're going to spend some time on Mount Orthrus and whatever.
I'm very excited.
Whatever's going on over there.
Yeah. I think that's, like, the thing I'm most excited to see is whatever's going on up there.
So Phoebe and I wrote down a lot of questions to ask Charlie and Tamara, obviously. But one of the questions shot to the top of the list after we saw the first 3 minutes, which was essentially to ask the two of them about the Thalia-Luke relationship in Season 3, because of this new detail that Thalia is looking for him. So I'll roll that clip.
Okay, we just got our first look at Thalia in Season 3, and it seems like she's looking for Luke. I just need to know what's going on here. Can you tell us a little bit about how both of these characters are approaching each other this season?
Yeah, I knew these were going to be the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that Thalia is existing in this space quite traumatized after what she's just experienced. And she's looking for answers, to be quite honest. I don't know if there's anything else that is true to her, that she just wants answers. This person that she loved is not currently existing in her life right now, and she's hearing a lot of things. So I think that what she is searching for is the truth and what she wants to be the truth as well, which is that I think we get to see that this season.
Yeah. I mean, these two haven't seen each other for, 7 years now at this point? So it's been a long time, and obviously they have a deep history, and I want to say more, but I just can't.
You can't say
I know. But yeah, I mean, there's a reunion. There is a reunion at some point. Yeah, no, but it's like, yeah, like they're both just like, I think they both are just like dying to meet each other again, and I think they both they both want answers, and just like they want to, I think Luke
say a lot of things. There's a lot to say.
There's a lot to say. There's a lot to unpack. I think now that she's in the picture, I think Luke has sort of given up on Percy. He's like, well, we got another child of the big three, and strongest demigod,
the strongest
child of
Thank
Zeus,
you.
no less. So,
Can't believe I've had to say it this many times today.
All right, we can talk about what T said, but I want to start with Charlie, because I have some questions. When do we think Luke finds out Thalia's alive and, like, is back, like, for sure, for realsies?
Well, it's a little confusing because we know that he was there when she came back. They shot him being awake and seeing it happen. It just wasn't actually in the final cut, so it's kind of unclear. I don't know that we know, but he definitely knows at this point. I'm sure someone has told him that he succeeded and that it's now time to target this other child of the big three. Unless you think that he's going to find out during the season.
I mean, that'd be such a gag if Annabeth reveals that to him. It's a good scene.
It's a good scene, and it would explain why he hasn't shown up to her before now.
Yeah. If she's looking for him, too. But maybe that's part of the power struggle. Maybe he wants to, but he's kind of lost his status.
Yeah.
And so that's part of his struggle.
Especially because, like, even if he was knocked out, his army was not.
Yeah.
Everyone saw it happen. So.
Yeah, so maybe it's like, no, we'll get her when the time is right thing. And Luke's like, no, get her now. I want her back.
Yeah, I also love that Luke has given up on Percy now and is now targeting Thalia, which we knew. We knew he'd given up on him, but I'm very excited to see what that dynamic looks like. Mm-hmm. Both of those dynamics.
Yeah, I love that the show version of Thalia, I think, feels a lot more active than the book version. Like, I think the book version, she just sort of goes back to who she was when she arrived in a way. But especially since we've gotten so much more characterization of her in the past than in the book because of the flashbacks, this version of her in this show, and like a version of her that's on her own mission, that's not really part of camp, really does feel right. Mm-hmm. And I love that we get a little bit more backstory on like her coming to Westover, and then we set up the tension right away between her and Percy. But yeah, let's talk about, quote, she's looking for the truth, or what she wants to be the truth. I think I quoted her right.
Yeah.
What does she want to be the truth?
She wants the truth to be that Luke is still who he was, that he can still be that person in her life, and that she hasn't lost him. Yeah. Charlie clearly wanted to say more also in this clip.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious what the more was. Speaking of the Thalia and Percy dynamic, which just came up. First of all, very fun to see in that little clip that we got to see.
Yeah, they're beefing hardcore.
Yeah.
Which is
great. Such a short interaction, but like so fun.
I mean, we ended season 2 on like my worst nightmare just walked in the door. So I'm glad we're keeping that energy.
Yeah, it was really, really fun to watch the two of them in the sort of like fight scene that kicks off season 3. The ways they're like playing off of each other and also playing against each other. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see the fight at the lake or pond or whatever.
Tamara talked a bit also in the panel about like Thalia's arc this season and how like layered and interesting a character she is, and I'm really excited to see her performance. I mean, we've already seen how crazy talented she is as an actress, so I cannot wait for her to like actually be her and not just in flashbacks, you know?
That's why I'm so excited about this update in her costume choices. I'm like, this is like the real modern Thalia. This is a different person. Like, it just visually tells you, like, you don't understand this character as much as you might think that you do, which I think is really cool.
And just those two fighting each other, crying. God. I'm imagining they're crying. I don't know. Thalia and Luke fighting each other, I'm sure crying. Should I include the audio in the panel? When they all went around and asked what their favorite episode was, both Charlie and Tamara said episode 7, which we have theorized as the Duel of the Fates, the Agni Kai. And you just, when they both said it, you just hear us all just going, kick him off a cliff.
Yeah, you can put that in here.
Yeah, I would. That's a tough one. I feel like even episode 1, people are going to be like, if we start off with a bang, but I'm going to have to agree. I think episode 7 is pretty crazy. A lot that goes down. Episode 7.
Off the cliff.
I'm excited for when you see the Hoover Dam.
Anyway, but we were talking about the Thalia Percy of it all.
Right, which we actually asked Walker about at these roundtable interviews also. We asked Walker and Aryan about how each of them are handling Thalia coming back, because those two characters have very different perspectives, naturally, on her return. I assume that both of your characters have very different perspectives on Thalia coming back. How are you both feeling about that?
It's interesting. There's actually a cut scene, which makes me so sad that it was cut, but there's this scene between Thalia and Grover. We both have a bit of a Good Will Hunting moment, like with each other. It's, like in the teaser, we kind of see Thalia looking for answers and kind of trying to get some resolution, and Grover kind of confronts her on it, and she's like, she carries this weight and this burden almost as heavy as like, the weight of the world or something.
I knew you were going to do that.
And it's really nice to see them interact and finally kind of, I guess, forgive each other. And Thalia tells Grover, like, whatever happened on Half-Blood Hill was not your fault. And it's just this, like, beautiful, even though the scene is cut, I feel like there's still such a palpable kind of release of tension before and after. Because, you know, Grover, like, carries all that with him. It messes with him for so long. And to hear, like, it wasn't your fault from the person that he, like, failed first was you know, great for, like, me as an actor and great for Grover as a character, so.
That's true. Every scene we do, he's just stressing out. Every single.
Yeah.
It's like there's not even when we're chilling,
his family.
He's just like not feeling well.
Yeah.
So, I guess, you know, for me, Thalia coming back, I think number one, I'm nervous. Like, this is a big responsibility, being like a child of the big three, and what's gonna happen when both of us exist at the same time. Especially because it's one prophecy and there's two of us, and technically it's hers. So I think it's also like, you know, there's only, we kind of fill the same spot in like the trio. So, you know, she kind of is threatening that spot that I'm in.
And she's so much stronger than you, which is the issue.
She's like, she's relatively strong.
Stronger, kind of.
And maybe emotionally in some ways.
And it's also, I think that's why Grover likes her so much more. You know?
Grover's just attracted to like the strength. Like, he's just best friends with whoever is stronger.
Yeah, he just follows whoever is the strongest. Yeah. He's gonna join Kronos.
So, poor Grover gets all these scenes cut.
I know. I'm hoping there's something similar to this.
Yeah.
At least in vibes.
I can see them cutting
emotionally.
it because it like doesn't need to be said, or like maybe there's like a moment or two over the course of the quest where they, you know, you get something like an acknowledgement a little, even in just the body language. I feel like from what we saw in the flashbacks, I don't know what Thalia felt about Grover.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing that's really been all that explored to this point.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of it in episode 3 of season 1. But really we just haven't gotten into this in any kind of way. And so I'm excited to see how they handle this relationship generally.
Yeah.
It is an interesting emotion to keep in mind, though, the fact that both of them feel this way toward each other a bit. That there's the guilt there. And like a sort of hesitation between the two of them because of what happened on the hill. In terms of Percy, I mean, we've talked about this. Thalia is the new main character, and he's not handling it well.
Yeah.
That Walker says that she fulfills the same role in the group, that it's her prophecy now.
Prophecy's interesting, too, because obviously there was a huge deal made about that in season 2. Of the great prophecy of it all. And that was something I was thinking about walking around the activation. There's a lot of quotes from the prophecy all over the activation. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of, like, pick your path, you know, where I was sort of like, it led me to think prophecy in this season's also going to be a major factor. Because, I mean, in the book, in The Sea of Monsters, you know, fail without friends to fly home alone kind of haunts Clarice. And I think in a similar way, the line in the prophecy of, you know, one shall perish by a parent's hand haunts Thalia specifically.
Yeah, it was interesting walking through the activations because the whole thing is kicked off with, like, this one pathway. Mm-hmm. But once you enter, like, Percy, Annabeth, and Thalia's paths, they each have the prophecy in different places in the room. And so walking through all of them, I was just thinking to myself, like, if I knew nothing about this season and this is my first interaction with the prophecy because I am not a Percy Jackson fan or I am like a show fan and just don't really know what I'm looking at yet. Like, how am I interpreting it based on where they chose to put it in the room and like based on whose path I chose? It was just interesting to like see that way that the prophecy like started to branch off depending on who you chose in a way. But yeah, One shall perish by a parent's hand was prominent in all three of them. Mm-hmm. Do you think Annabeth blames Athena for her ending up there and thinks that it might be about her at all?
Well, does she know the prophecy yet? Oh, you just mean in general?
Yeah. Like, is there a way to interpret it being about Annabeth in the viewer's mind? She tried to kill her before.
That's true. It does certainly... I could imagine maybe, if I'm theorizing about the show, and I don't know anything, and I've just seen season 2 and 1, and going into 3, I could imagine being like, well, I don't know. Athena's always doing Annabeth dirty. Mm-hmm. But Zeus is also always doing Thalia dirty. The only one I'd be like, okay, he's probably safe as Percy. But the thing is, it's like, the book series, though, next book, it comes back, because you've got the child of Athena dying line. Spoilers for Babel Labyrinth if you haven't read it. I don't know. But I do find Walker saying, like, well, she's stronger than Percy emotionally, maybe, to be deeply funny.
I know. I was like, okay, true.
And Aryan saying, like, which is why Grover likes her so much better. Also, it did make me think, like, I actually do wonder, like, between these two, like, what's going on with Grover? Like, he's definitely working overtime to try to make them get along, but, like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone in the comments of the reel that we posted with this clip in it also pointed out that Grover's also got the empathy link going, and so he's just, like, stressed on all sides.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. We don't see a lot of Grover and Thalia interacting in season 2, and what we do see, they don't seem to be really on the same page, so I would be, like, I think we already said this, but it's interesting, whatever they've got going on.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Grover needs her forgiveness more than she maybe needs his acknowledgement, you know?
Maybe. But also, he's the only part of her past that is, like, still currently standing next to her in this season.
That's true.
So I can see her relying on him because she's with, like, the Hunters, who she doesn't like, and with Percy, who she doesn't like.
Yeah. Should we talk about the Hunters?
Yeah, we asked... we only got to ask one question of Craig and Dan. So we chose to ask them about Zoë and the Hunters because they've mostly avoided talking about Zoë completely.
Yeah.
And so just like last year where they had completely avoided talking about Thalia, I decided that was where we needed to go next, I guess. So here's the audio from that question. The Titan's Curse is a book that is full of characters who are sort of displaced from time. One of them we're missing today are Zoë Nightshade. Can you tell us about bringing Zoë into our quest dynamic this night?
Yeah, I mean, she is literally like no one that we've seen before in the show. She is different in a lot of ways. She's even different from a lot of her fellow huntresses in a lot of ways. So just the idea of this band of immortals, you know, who journey together, like, and what that does and how immortality or long life changes you from whatever you were before you became a hunter to now what you're in, this, you know, sisterhood, is Zoë has to carry a lot of that story with her. There's some other hunters too. Phoebe and...
Yeah, Phoebe.
Yeah.
Phoebe.
Yeah. And then Bianca and actually the whole unit, like, they all
worked so well together.
Yeah.
I mean, they went through like a deep boot camp, like training together, all their archery, like just all of it. It was, and I know I mentioned on the panel, like their costumes. You guys got a taste of it. Like they are, seeing them all like marching together is pretty epic. But I will say, Sorrow is one of the best choices we've made on this show. Like she is outstanding. And what's so cool about it is like, she's the kid's age, but she's timeless. Yeah. Like it's such a cool juxtaposition to play in the show where it's like, and even Artemis, like the way we built Artemis, she's also timeless. So it's like all the other gods are dressed in suits or in Hawaiian shirts or what. And Artemis is the one that we kept, even in her look, we kept her
because she doesn't really
timeless.
Care about the modern world the way they do. You know, they're hunting in different realms that aren't even like material realms. You know, they're going into these other lands to get their prey. So she's like, her twin he's up to date.
And Daphne and Sarah became best friends. Like full on. Yeah. They've like traveled the world together. They've become so tight, and it's like it's beautiful to watch because it's just like it's mirroring what that story and that relationship, and that was happening in real life too. That bond was so strong.
We talked about this a bit already in our Patreon episode about San Diego Comic-Con, which you can all check out if you're a member of our Patreon. We did a little like late night recap of everything that we'd experienced on Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
But I do think it's very interesting. Craig's description of them being like a completely different person from who they were when they weren't immortal. The immortality changes even that way. Mm-hmm. And that Zoe is like carrying a lot of that inside of her.
Yeah. I want to track that as a theme this season, honestly. Because we've got a lot of interesting characters. Like, I mean, obviously, we have Bianca at the beginning deciding to take immortality. We have Thalia at the end deciding to take immortality. We have... Oh, this was to me the big scoop of the panel. Hercules is cast.
Yeah.
Hercules is in the show. And we won't play their audio because it was from their interview question, but Erica and Carter asked a question of Dan and Craig about Hercules, and they gave a very interesting answer, so I would definitely check out their interview questions and their whatever episode they end up posting about Comic-Con, if they end up posting one, to hear that. But yeah, it seems like immortality and the decision to become immortal and who you are when you become immortal is something that seems they've been meditating on in the writer's room.
Yeah. Yeah. And also there's the fact that Annabeth was considering joining the Hunters.
And we've got all of the gods at the end of this season.
Mm-hmm.
We're presumably spending a decent amount of time with Artemis, maybe getting some interesting stuff from Apollo. They've been very cagey about him for some reason.
I can't wait to see Apollo. Even though I'm not going to get my Trials of Apollo references. I want them to foreshadow Trials of Apollo so bad. Or at least, like, take from what we know is his backstory in Trials of Apollo. But it's fine. I'll live with whatever they give me.
It'll be interesting, I think, to have a whole season where we're meditating on immortality and then end it with the Council of the Gods.
Yeah. It also says to me, Craig's answer, that we will be seeing, like, a decent amount of like Zoe backstory or like getting into it, the fact that we're talking about like who you were before at all in relation to Zoe, so which is confirmed just by the fact that like Hercules has been cast.
we talked about this in our Patreon episode. It was like, what else would they do with him if not Zoe backstory?
Right. I'm very curious what the flashbacks are this season. Like, do they all belong to Zoe? Or
speaking of, this is the thing I think coming out of Comic-Con where we were the most excited, if we want to get into that.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so Phoebe and I were really wrestling with the second question we wanted to ask Tamara and Charlie if we got the chance to. And it was a real toss-up between asking Tamara about the Zoe-Thalia relationship or a question Phoebe wrote, but I asked about Luke's return to the Garden of the Hesperides, where he had his first quest. That was, I think, the first question Phoebe wrote down when we were starting to brainstorm, and I was like, ooh, great question.
Yeah, but we weren't sure if we would, like, get a decent answer, so that was the only reason that it was, like, up in the air.
Yeah, because we weren't sure how much they were going to do with Luke's class, because they haven't really, did they even mention that he had a failed quest in season 1?
Yeah, I don't know if we've really...
I mean, he has a scar.
He has a scar. We knew that, like, it happened. It's just, like, how much are we really going to get into it? How much of this question is really just, like, let's do character analysis sitting here at the table, and how much of this is actually talking about season 3?
Yeah. And so everyone finished asking one question, and we had time for one more, and it came back around to us. And I was like, oh my god, which one of these do I go with? And I went with my gut, which was about the garden.
Which was the right choice.
Which was the right choice.
We will play the audio here.
Speaking of where Luke's at this season, he spends most of this book just past the garden where he had his first quest. How's he feeling about returning to the scene of the crime?
Oh my gosh. I wish I could say so much more. I know. No, yeah, let's just say that bit of his history comes pretty full circle. It's
I didn't even think about that till I thought about it.
We get to explore a lot more of that. So, I know, I know.
That's so true.
Yeah, but there's a whole
I forgot that we shot that.
Yeah, it was like we were shooting almost like two different shows this season because like they were fully on their group quest, and then like you know, we kind of have the Luke Annabeth storyline going on as well, because obviously we don't see much of that in the book, but it's still there and it's still happening, you know. So, but yeah, he's
full circle.
Wow, pretty full circle. Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
For those podcast listeners, by the way, who haven't seen the video of this guy.
Yeah, go on our Instagram and watch
when
this.
When Charlie starts answering it, he like grips the bridge of his nose between his fingers. He's like, I can't. As soon as he did that, I was like, oh,
this was the right question to ask. Even though we're not about to get an answer, this was the right question to ask. That part of his backstory comes full circle. It's kind of the only information that we're getting from this. We're also getting T saying, I forgot we shot that. Yeah. Because they were basically filming two different shows.
Also, the next day, we went to the activation. And on Annabeth's pathway, there were a lot of props from the show. We'll talk about the rest later. But right on a plinth in the center, all lit up, was a whole pile of golden apples. And the top one had a bite taken out of it, which is why I'm bringing this up now.
Yeah, this is very important. This is actually very important. I've been like going down I went down a whole rabbit hole earlier today, being like, are there any Greek myths where they actually bite the apple?
Paradise Lost?
Yeah, eventually I was like, okay, there are no myths where they actually eat the apple, and so I'm going to have to dig into the Bible. I'm going to have to rewatch Snow White, aren't I?
Oh my god, Snow White!
Yeah, I'm like developing, I have a lot of theories going on in my head about what this means, but...
I want to hear your theories.
So... the page that I have open on my phone right now is me researching people who have just eaten the food of the gods. Like people who have eaten ambrosia.
Sisyphus is definitely on there.
Yeah, it's a lot of like people being anointed with it and then becoming immortal or gaining some kind of power or something. And so my thinking is like, if a mortal wants to hold up the weight of the sky, do you have to eat the apple or like to like be strong enough? Or I don't know. I think Luke's ending up back at the tree. I do think it's Luke that bit the apple. That's like the main thing that's in my head is that like
Luke,
at the very least it's Luke.
Bit the apple, yes. I'm gonna write some fan fiction for a second. What if eating the apple doesn't actually do anything, but if it's like, this is the food of the gods. Like, I could see, like, Luke being like, fuck the gods. I'm going to take a bite of it and see what all the fuss is about type situation.
Yeah, because, I mean, all of the myths of the apples are mostly them being, like, very tempting. Like, beyond just the tree, there's also, like, Paris and
those are the
goddesses. And Atalanta being distracted by the golden apples. And... like, they're these things that, like, draw so much attention that they start wars. So if they're the same golden apples across mythology, they are also, like, very, very tempting, potentially. So it might not be a you have to eat it, but you want to eat it.
Because, I don't think I remember anyone eating them.
Yeah, they're just, like, prizes.
They're kind of like a MacGuffin, right? Like, there's no purpose to them. You just guard them and steal them. They're prizes.
Yeah, I think, like... a lot of question marks here, but what I feel confident in is that we will hopefully talk about Luke's quest so that like we can really feel it go full circle. Maybe Luke telling Annabeth about his quest, or
I like that.
I keep going back and forth about, like, is it an actual flashback? I forgot that we shot that is very interesting to me.
In my head, I was like, I forgot that we shot that. Could be like a moment either in the before or the after that is like a mirrored shot. But maybe we're just driving ourselves insane. Maybe
it's the thing that I've been thinking about most since leaving Comic-Con. I'm sure by the time this season comes out, I will have 50 more theories.
Shay-worthy, what have you done?
You think it's Shay?
Well, you were the one who said that you think Shay's now in charge of all flashbacks, so...
I think that Shay's episode definitely has flashbacks, but I think the flashbacks, in my mind, are Zoe. But I do think I still am team, like, we are getting Thalia and Luke flashbacks.
Yeah.
And I still am holding on to my it's a flashback of the two of them meeting Zoe theory. I did mention this to Aryan, and he kept a very straight face. So kudos to him.
Should we talk about the activation now?
Yeah, like we mentioned, these golden apples were in the activation, which is the big walkthrough experience that was right at the, like, front gates of Comic-Con. That we only got to do 2 out of the 3 pathways. We did Annabeth and Percy.
So on Percy's path, on the wall was the only prop, I think, on Percy's path from the show, which was Annabeth's dagger. I saw people theorizing that that's because Percy ends up with her dagger instead of her cap.
I think that's interesting, because we still haven't figured out what Luke is doing with Annabeth's cap, but I could very easily see him keeping it for this season and Percy being left with her dagger, especially because then you leave her without a weapon on the mountain. Yeah. It gives you, like, you'd expect her to, at some point, attempt to escape, which we might see her try to do.
Yeah, if Luke has her cap, she can steal her cap and try to escape.
But if she doesn't have her dagger, it makes it much harder to do.
Speaking of Annabeth, we did also get a second question for Walker and Aryan. So, of course, we asked them about Annabeth.
Also, before we get into this clip, there is a spoiler for the Titan's Curse in it, because Walker can't keep his mouth shut. I think we're, like, pretty full spoilers in this episode, but just want to warn anyone if for some reason you're listening to this episode and haven't read the Titan's Curse.
Yeah. So how are Percy and Grover navigating this season without Annabeth, especially knowing she's with Luke?
We're doing great.
It's a lot harder. But it's a lot... I was going to say more fun, but that sounds really sad. It's only more fun because we keep getting into, like, more trouble.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
We don't have, like, a third party to ground us.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Keep
it's
getting
just
sidetracked all the time, and it's really funny.
The whole thing is just like, oh wait, this is let's go this way, and then something really bad happens.
If Annabeth was in this book, it'd be like maybe a third as
like
long.
5 seconds. We would, like, get on it. We would just be there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I mean, she's not here anymore. But it's that was it was weird because she, like, the first, like, couple days of that, like, after we filmed that whole sequence where, you know, she disappears for a little bit, we were like, it was like, it's a weird thing because that was just the new group. I mean, we did lose another member, spoiler, but, like, of the group.
Nice going, dude.
It's so hard because I want to talk about the whole thing, and it's like you could just spoil the whole thing for yourself right here.
We were filming, like, a podcast episode the other day, and Walker was like, and it's like episode 1 of the podcast. Walker's like, "Can I give a little spoiler?" And then drops, like, the worst possible like
the
scene.
end, like
like
you know what happens, Mount
like,
Offerus.
Yeah, and we were like, "Dude, what
happens?"
We don't get to hear too much about how they're feeling about Annabeth in this clip, but it does sound like shenanigans will ensue.
As they should.
And also does get me thinking about, like, seeing the Annabeth-Luke dynamic so often because neither of them are, like, the kind of characters to start shenanigans.
Yeah.
You know? Like, those are some grounded, real scenes that are happening over there.
Yeah, and then it's just...
no time for nonsense.
Yeah. Cut to, like, Percy and Grover just absolutely.
Cut to, like, food fight.
Yeah.
Cut to, you know, whatever's going to happen with Aphrodite and...
Ares.
And Ares. Cut to Apollo. Like, even though their journey is also very real and dark at times, like, they are in a position where they're going to have fun because of the personalities that are at play in that group dynamic. I'm very curious what's going to be going on with Luke and Annabeth because I don't see them not allowing them any levity.
Yeah.
Like, I do wonder if there are, like, moments of connection between them, moments of, like, remember what we used to have here.
Yeah. I mean, from a writing perspective, you really want to show why Annabeth cares so much, you know, and, like, why it's so hard. I don't know how much we've talked about this, but, like, there was a question of, like, is he still tricking Annabeth to hold up the sky?
Yeah, we have talked about that, and that's a big question that I have. I feel like they've changed a bit of how we start these scenes with them.
Yeah, which will be interesting.
Yeah, part of me is like, I wonder if Luke doesn't want Annabeth there as much as Annabeth doesn't want to be there. How much of this is him, like, really having to go along with what they're forcing him to do.
I think I noticed it most on Annabeth's path, but there were recordings of the cast saying certain things. There was one where I was like, that sounds like Walker, except not. And I think because it turned out it was Aryan.
Well, I thought that was before we even walked in. There was, like, the like, pre-show.
Right.
I think the place where you hear Walker is going into Annabeth's path.
Yeah.
I think you hear her yelling Annabeth.
Yeah.
Annabeth's name.
We didn't go through Thalia's, so we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you hear in Thalia's. We should look it up.
Yeah.
Oh, also, the last thing that I know is in the Thalia path is the Hottie license plate.
Yeah, there's a Hottie license plate, and it sounded like they had, like, props like the Golden Fleece and her spear and shield on that path.
Yeah. I'm so excited for Apollo.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I think Dior, right, when we were interviewing her, she was like, oh, we cast the perfect Apollo. I'm like...
Yeah. I'm going to have all of the Trials of Apollo books open in front of me. And I will make it about Trials of Apollo no matter what.
As you should.
Speaking of, should we put in the audio here from...
the part where Walker says hot car?
Yeah.
Actually, I do think Walker did walk over and give us a scoop, but it was at the beginning when he and Aryan walked over.
Yeah.
Because right before anyone asked any questions, Walker and Aryan came to our table, and someone brought up the teaser, which was in the panel, which is just, as we discussed, the promo shot of him holding up the sky. And they were talking a bit about shooting that. So we should maybe roll the clip.
I think I don't know why. They always use random videos of me screaming everything.
Dude, I heard you, like, across the stage that day.
Huh?
I heard you across the stage that day.
Dude, that was, like, the final. So the position to carry that thing is, like, the most uncomfortable thing ever. Because I thought it was going to be, like, all about, like, pushing. But it's, like, shifting. That's what makes, like, it, like, hard.
It, like, spins slowly.
And you have to, like, readjust. And you have to, like, twist your whole body
it's like a really
out like that to hold it.
Did you try it?
Yeah, I remember the scene where Grover takes the weight of the world.
It was amazing.
Wow. It is. Grover's curse.
Grover actually lifts it in the air.
While we film this, can I be dead silent reading the book the whole time? Yeah. Wow, that is so interesting. Dude, I opened the damn snack bar page.
I was gonna say.
So yeah, Walker's sort of talking about how it's like a practical effect to holding up the sky, which sounds really cool.
Right? I fully expected it to be like, in my head I was like, oh, it must be like a green screen that's shaped in a way where they can like hold it and they can edit in what they need to. But it's like a practical sky that they can hold.
He said it spins. Like that's got I'm excited. I'm excited to see it in action. Last but not least, let's talk about our two newest cast members. They're so freaking cute.
Yeah.
They're gonna break our hearts, man. Mm-hmm. And love every minute. Both of them said Junkyard of the Gods was their favorite part.
I know. It's so funny. I was like, Levi. I understand Olive saying it. Of course, that's her favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah, these two, we asked them in as vague a way as we sort of could about bringing Nico and Bianca's past into their performances. I mean, there's really like no good way for them to answer that, honestly,
Yeah.
I think. But it was kind of a moment of like, which of these questions, we had a bunch of like silly questions and like one actual question for them. And we were like, let's just go with the actual question, even though it might not get us anything.
Yeah.
But it did get us something interesting.
For some context, we went last out of the three in this interview. I think we're actually planning to post a full interview video collaboratively on YouTube also between all the podcasts. So you'll be able to see this hopefully in a full video.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when in relation to this episode coming out, but it will be hopefully available pretty soon, if not out already. But the Seaweed Brain question for them was, essentially acting exercises that they've been given to get into their role. And one of the stories they told was being asked by Angela McElroy to hold each other and stare at a wall and imagine a burning building. And I didn't really put it together why he would have asked them to do it until we asked our question. But when Levi is referring back to remember the burning building of it all, that's what he's talking about.
All right, so both of you are playing what some might say are old souls this season. So we were really curious, like how much of like Nico and Bianca's like complicated pasts are you thinking about as you're playing them, breaking in?
I don't want to give too much away, but that burning building, he was having us reenact something that had to do with their past. But yeah, definitely we did a lot of studying with Andrew on it. Mm-hmm. He like would like pull up pictures of things and he'd be like, this is like your inspiration, and he'd like put it in the binder. So,
Yeah, they've clearly done their homework on not just what we learn in the Titan's Curse, but what we learn of their past in the later books as well.
Yeah. I also want to talk a little bit about some gleans we got into their characterizations in the panel, because I think there's some interesting stuff to talk about there. So there was an audience question that asked what their favorite and least favorite character traits in each of the characters they played were. And Levi said for him what he loves about Nico was his determination and him going after what he wants. Which was interesting to me because I don't know how much that actually comes up in the Titan's Curse.
Yeah.
Which makes me very curious about how we're going to see that with Nico unfold.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it is like Levi speaking from the perspective of someone who knows the books very well and how much is like we're actually seeing it this season. Because, I mean, there is, like, the final scene with Nico.
Yeah, that's true. But that's not him going after what he wants,
True. That's him running away from what he wants.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting trying to come up with questions for Olive. Because Bianca D'Angelo in the books, she's just, like, I think a lot less huge of a character than so many of the others.
Yeah, I think she's a divisive character partially because we see so little of her before she's gone.
Yeah.
We just sort of have to, like, sit in the consequences of her choices.
Yeah.
But in Olive's words, that from the panel, she talked about her as someone who's, like, very protective.
Which was interesting, because, again, I was like, in a season where we have different characters occupying the same role, like Percy versus Thalia, for example. It's interesting to have two protectors, right, in the sense of Bianca
and Grover.
And Grover. Also,
protector of two people on the quest.
Yeah, and then also Thalia and Zoe, I think, are another two that kind of sometimes fill the same role. So I'm wondering if they'll explore any of that in the dynamic. I would love a Grover-Bianca scene. That would be fun. Poor Grover. They have another, like, heartfelt bonding moment.
You just can't stop losing Children of the Big Three.
I can't.
Sorry if you can hear very intense rain happening outside my window.
We called Poseidon. He's here. Or Zeus.
Yeah. We started talking about Bianca, and this guy was upset about it, clearly. Yeah, now that we're talking about it, though, I haven't even really thought about that final Nico Percy scene.
Yeah.
Go Levi.
I'm
rooting for you.
I cannot wait. I think Olive and Levi, I mean, I know Olive's done a lot of, they've both done a lot of work before this, so I have every confidence in their abilities to deliver absolutely unbelievably devastating performances, and I cannot wait. And then our last big Percy thing we did after all of that was, of course, the Season 2 costume design panel, hosted by Erica Ito of Seaweed Brain.
Aryan's understudy is what we were joking about.
Yes, she went on as Aryan's understudy, and excellent job. Did a great,
right,
and killed it.
Couldn't tell the difference between Aryan and Erica's performance.
No, that was really fun. We also got to spend a little bit of time with Kate Adair, the costume designer, beforehand, which was super cool. We went to their booth. They had, like, trading cards that all the designers were signing, which was super fun. Zoë Nightshade was on the panel, along with Daniel and David, whose last names I'm forgetting right now.
Daniel Mahler-Landman and David Matwikow, I think is how you say it.
They were great. They talked a lot about making the Season 2 costumes. It was super cool. I think you can see clips of it online on the Seaweed Brain Instagram. And we did learn a few kind of interesting tidbits. One of which was apparently Kate has Annabeth wearing a jean jacket because to her, like, a jean jacket's what you wear to be, like, all-American. So in her mind, like, Annabeth picked out a jean jacket to, like, full commit to try to being, like, an American kid before the events of Season 2. So it's interesting to me that she's still wearing a jean jacket in the Season 3 promo shots. She also talked about punching up Annabeth's colors in Season 2 to have her be bolder, more expressive in the clothes.
Yeah, which it looks like is continuing into Season 3 because she's got, like, the blue jacket, the purple shirt, and then, like, this pinkish red shirt underneath it. Like, she's wearing a lot of bold colors.
Someone asked a question that she basically was like, good eye. I think the question was, is Sally wearing a shirt that looks a lot like Poseidon's shirt at the end of Season 1, at the start of Season 2, on purpose?
Makes you wonder how they're going to dress Sally as she gets closer to Paul.
Yeah.
And what the costume choices are going to be in the apartment scene. Yeah, what are they going to put Luke Arnold in? Even when they cast someone, I'm going to refer to them as Luke Arnold.
Yeah, there's a lot of, again, like, hearing all of that and hearing, like, from Hamish and a lot of the other interviews we've done, I'm like, oh god, we need to stare harder at everything going on our screens in Season 3. There's a lot of Easter eggs that people are putting in there.
Yeah, I mean, if we've learned anything from interviewing the artists on this show, like, the amount of detail that goes into every second of it is worth staring at. It's worth zooming in.
Yeah, speaking of Luke Arnold, we also rounded out our weekend by going to a pirate panel and got to meet Zach McGowan, another Black Sails, Charles Vane.
Who was lovely.
Yeah.
Very, very kind to everybody that approached him.
Yeah.
And very knowledgeable on pirates.
Yeah, he did a lot of research. I love how much that man loves Charles Vane.
Everybody watch Black Sails.
Yeah, it felt like a fun full circle to the weekend, you know, to bring it back to Black Sails.
Speaking of pausing every frame, we did do a small moment of that with the teaser over on Patreon of, like, Percy holding up the sky and talked about the actual design. But I'm sure we will be doing more of that come D23 because I'm expecting the whole show to drop. I'm expecting so much new information, especially now that we know that Sarah and Daphne are going. And we'll also get to hear John talking on this season, which we haven't gotten to hear yet.
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to D23. We will not be there, sadly. Unless Disney decides to give me a ticket.
We did try.
But we will be reacting to it at least with everybody else.
And if there's a teaser or something, we will be breaking it down.
Yep.
If there's any new information, which there hopefully should be, we will be taking
going frame by frame, like I said.
Yeah. So
I think those breakdowns usually end up living on Patreon. I'm not sure what we will end up doing with it, but that is what is to come. It is convention season. Like, I think there's Percy Jackson stuff happening like every single month for the next forever. Because we've also got the new book coming out in September, right? It's in September or October?
September.
And in October, we've got Whatever Rick is doing at Comic-Con.
Yes,
no clue what he's doing, but he's there.
Whatever he's doing, yeah.
So a packed couple of months coming up, and I'm very, very excited.
Yeah. Happy Percy Jackson Fall, everyone.
Wow, Percy Jackson Fall. It's always been Percy Jackson Winter. And it's July.
Happy Percy Jackson Fall. Back to school, Percy Jackson. Get an apple for your teach. I don't know.
Go back to school shopping. Sure.
For a golden apple.
Get a new backpack, new folders, and green is math, of course, as we all know.
Green is science. Math is red. Thank you all for listening to Monster Donut.
We would obviously love to hear your thoughts on all of the things that came out of San Diego Comic-Con.
Did you notice anything in the activations that we missed? All the Easter eggs? Did you hear anything in the panel that got your gears turning? Or anything in our interview clips that you maybe took a different way than us? That you're, have your own analysis on?
Yeah, I mean, we are extremely sleep deprived.
Yes.
As I mentioned. So it's very possible that we misinterpreted something.
Or just completely missed something.
So if you have any thoughts coming out of this episode, you can leave them as a comment on Spotify. You can send them to us on all of our social media at PJOPod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. And you can also email them to us at monsterdonutpodcast@gmail.com.
We also have recently launched a Discord for our patrons, including non-paid Patreon members, so you don't have to pay money to be part of it. If you want to join us over there.
Yeah, there will be a link to our Patreon, and you can join as a free member, and you'll get access to our Patreon, so you can join the conversation over there, too. Also on our Patreon are a bunch of exclusive episodes, including an episode that's entirely stories from this weekend. We sort of skipped over a lot of our like day-to-day experience at Comic-Con and a lot of fun stories from the weekend. And we also have similar episodes for past conventions, for past events that we've been to. It's our Live from the Hotel Room series, as well as episodes now about things not Percy Jackson related, that are basically us either arguing about our favorite things or trying to convince the other person to get into our favorite things. We've done chapters from Percy Jackson. We've done best episodes of Supernatural. We've done me making Emily watch my favorite episode of Hannibal.
Yeah.
I almost said Annabeth instead of Emily. You're welcome. Yeah, lots of fun exclusive content over on Patreon. So check that out. That will be linked below and also in our link tree on all of our social media. And in that link tree, you can also find our merch shop. Our website is also in there if you want to check out monsterdonutpodcast.com. I drew Nico this afternoon.
Oh.
It's been a while since I drew him. Yeah. I was so inspired by this weekend that I drew Nico, guys.
Is it Nico or Levi Nico?
It's just Nico as he exists in my head, but Levi Nico is actually very close to what Nico looks like in my head, so they're kind of the same thing. Yeah, I will sometimes post art that I don't post anywhere else on Patreon, but maybe I'll post this somewhere. We'll see. We'll see if you see it.
Also, if you're interested in supporting the show, Patreon's a great way to do it, but you can also buy us a coffee on Coffee, or the best way is also just leaving a rating or a review if you love the show, recommending us to a friend. That'll also really help us out. So if you're enjoying the show, that would be great.
And if we haven't, we've mentioned it already, but again, if you want to see video of the interviews that we played for you here today, video will be up on our YouTube, and also you can find clips on Instagram.
But speaking of our patrons,
a huge, huge thank you to this episode would not be possible without Latino Kaya, Patty VCK, Bethany from Public Works, Sydney Fox, Reina Avila Ramirez Arellano, Ethan Not Nakamura, Kels, Mason Bowman, Casey Cassidy, Natalia, Melissa Rounds, Sasha, Alana, Pamela Ion, The Kid on Her Own, Kaylee, Mana Munchin, Calamity, Eddie Burns, Sarah Brown, Theseus, May, Anna, Christina, Bad Luck, B, Baster, Austin Savat, James Alexander, Kari, Bella Rose, Aquilifer, Period, Cedric, Fia, Aaron, and Yohara. Thank you again for all of your support for the podcast. We are so thankful for all of you. And thank you all for listening. We'll be back very soon.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So, whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For your tushy, it's made by angels. Soft and strong, budget friendly. The choice is simple. A roll that feels like paradise, and always at a heavenly price. Angel soft, soft and strong, so it's simple.
Pick up a pack today. Angel Soft.
Soft and strong, simple.
At Edward Jones, we believe rich is more than caring about the latest and greatest. It's also taking care of what gives your life meaning. That's why your dedicated financial advisor meets you where you are with personalized financial strategies that help protect what matters, so you can preserve your progress while creating a path forward. The key to being rich is knowing what counts. Let's find your rich together. Edward Jones, member SIPC.